Hey guys, it's Bailey and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a quick review of LORAC's brand new Unzipped Gold palette. So if you want to hear my thoughts, see some swatches, and see a comparison of it to the original, original Unzipped palette, please continue watching. For starters, this retails for $42. The original still goes for $40, which I was really happy to see because I know brands like Urban Decay, whenever they release a new version or a new kind of sequel to the Naked palette, they not only raise the cost of that palette, but they raise the cost of all the other palettes. So it was kind of nice to see $42, $40, not a huge discrepancy, but that they are keeping the original at a fixed cost. Inside this palette, you will find that you receive 10 eyeshadows. These, as a means of comparison, I want to grab my Pro palette. The Pro palette here I feel like is really well known, so it's a great way to compare. You can see you get 16 shadows in the Pro. It retails for the same price, however, it's also $42, but you can see that the shadows themselves in the Unzipped are nearly double the size of that in the Pro. So even though you're getting less quantity of shadows, you get more product per shade. The compact itself is cardboard. It's identical to the original, but it has this kind of nice frosted white gold exterior with a decent sized mirror. I've used this to get ready multiple times, so it actually is practical and useful. And it has magnetic closure that is pretty strong. It's not going to fly open whenever you don't want it to, so it can travel really well. So now that we're inside here, let's take a look at the shades. There is a huge variety everywhere from the lightest of light to the deepest of deep, which I love about this palette. It also has a nice variety of finishes. You have both matte and shimmery, and I would even say metallic finish. This one here on the bottom, called Unleashed, is this unbelievably metallic copper that I'll show in a tutorial. I'm wearing it on my eyes right now, but just a tap of the brush in the pan and you swipe it on your eye and it comes off exactly like it swatches. It's just beautiful, as are all of these shadows. I don't want to steer you wrong. They're all beautifully pigmented and very smooth, and they apply nice and evenly, but I was especially impressed with the pigmentation and the way that that shadow in particular applied, because it was metallic in the swatch and it stayed just as metallic when it was applied. The rest of the shadows, like I said, are also fantastic. The mattes especially. LORAC knows how to do a great matte, and there are 4 matte shadows in this palette, so there's a really nice balance. You know, nearly half of them are matte shadows, which are great for blending. They're great for creating a completely matte look if you really want to. You get this light shade over here, so you have a nice matte highlight shade, and then you have these 4 shades right here and then over in the corner to really add some more depth, line, do whatever it is you want to do. In addition to these super fun metallic shades here. 2 I really want to point out that really stood out to me, although you'll see swatches of all of them in this video. One is Unlocked. I'm wearing this in my inner corner right now, and the reason it was so striking to me is that it is ultra pigmented, but it's this frosted gold cream duochrome. And it doesn't take a lot to go a really long way. Like I said, I'm wearing it on my inner corner, but it also acts as a great all over face highlight. I'm wearing it on my cheekbones right now, the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow. It's definitely a very versatile shade for this palette. And then the other shade was Unpredictable, which is a beautiful rose gold shade. Rose gold is still having a pretty major moment right now, so it was really nice to see this in this palette. And I don't think it's so rosy that it's gonna unflatter or scare those that are afraid of pinker, rosier leaning tones. It's really very neutral while still adding that pop of pink to this palette. Speaking of unflattering, the one thing when I first ordered this, which by the way I got it from LORAC.com because I bought it when it was initially released. Now it should be available on Ulta, but when I first bought it, I was a little nervous that some of these gold shades, given that it's a gold palette, would be a little too yellow, which can be unflattering on certain skin tones, but I'm really happy to say that they're not. This shade Unlimited here is very similar to Urban Decay's Half Baked. It is a little bit more of a yellow gold, while Half Baked is more of a bronzed gold as a means of comparison. But I was really happy to see that both Unlimited and Unleashed were as warm as this palette got. And so I think it's still going to be really flattering to a lot of different skin tones. So far, just from a quality standpoint, I have to say this is another win from LORAC. Everything's there. The quality, the pigmentation, the variety of the shades, the variety of finishes. This is an amazing palette. But something I do want to touch on, because I know that a lot of you are going to have various other palettes from the line as well as others. And like I said, the shade Unlimited is very similar to Half Baked. I want to let you know what other shades you might find in here that you might also have in other LORAC palettes that you've already purchased. The first thing I want to do is compare it to the original Unzipped palette. Here I'm going to put the 2 side by side together, you can see that they are pretty different. The original Unzipped has a lot of cooler champagne-y nudes, and then as more colors develop, it gets more maroon, more burgundy. It really pulls from the purple and plums end of the spectrum, whereas the Unzipped Gold is truly gold and those warmer browns. The only shades I noticed that were even remotely similar were Undiscovered and Uninhibited. Those are very similar shimmery champagne-y shades. And then Unspoken and Unwind are similar deep matte brown shades. However, Unspoken from the original Unzipped palette is obviously pulling a little more purple than Unwind from the Unzipped Gold palette. Overall though, I would say that you can have both. They complement each other and you won't find a ton of overlap. The other thing I want to talk about is, of course, any shades you might find in the Pro palettes, because those have been super popular. I'm sure some of you have those as well. The only shade I could really find that is very similar is Light Bronze from the original Pro palette and Uninhibited from the Unzipped Gold. Once again, both are very similar light champagne shades. There's a definite texture difference between the two. I would say that Uninhibited from the Gold palette is a little grainy. You really don't notice it when you first dip your finger in it and when you actually go to use it, but as a means of comparison between it and the Pro palette, there is a little bit of a texture difference. But if you don't have the Pro palette and you're buying this alone, it definitely adds something to this palette. So I wouldn't completely nix it. I wouldn't say it's useless in this palette. And then the last potential dupes I spotted between the two were Gold from the Pro palette and Unleashed from the Gold palette. And it's really when I compared the two that I realized just how metallic Unleashed was, because when you put the two side by side, you can see Gold is really a true shimmer, whereas Unleashed it's almost like a Makeup Geek foiled shadow. Just to, if you need something to compare it to, that is exactly what it is for me. The texture is buttery smooth, and when you swatch it and wear it, it just glides on almost like it's a cream to powder formula. It's phenomenal. So that's it from me. Those are my thoughts on the Gold palette, in case you couldn't tell from the rest of the video. I really recommend it. I think it's a fantastic find all by itself. If you're looking at your first neutral palette, this is a great choice to make. It's especially great if you are into those warmer shades. I would definitely recommend the original Unzipped if you really dig cooler shades, but especially I think you have to be into the plums and rose tone colors, especially for the original Unzipped. But for the gold lovers out there, this is an amazing palette. And like I said before, I think you can, if you are an owner of the original Unzipped, you can have the two without finding a ton of overlap between them. So thank you guys so much for watching. There will also, I'm wearing the Gold palette on my eyes right now, so there'll be a tutorial of this coming up soon. But until then, thank you again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.